Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with Chris, KJ, and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Sippin' Sports Podcast. Today, we got an awesome special guest gracing the presence. One of my personal favorites, the man, the myth, the legend, Broad Street Sports. How you doing this morning?
Oh, feeling great. Sixers had a great draft. Phillies last night was rough. Had a good game Friday night. You know what? If we win the series, that's fine. Things happen like last night. I'm doing good. Summertime, sunny out. Let's have a good show.
Let's have a good show. I'm with it, man. So we got Ryan on for the whole show today. Blessed for it. Excited for it. And we're going to get the hard part of the show out of the way first. We were joking. Obviously, me and him are humongous Philadelphia Eagles fans. Very big Phillies fans. Flyers, So that's why we got Chaos Chris here to tell us how he felt about this draft.
What's up, guys? I miss y'all. Chaos Chris coming in here, giving you some Flyers draft insight. First pick in the first round they took was with the sixth pick. We were there, KJ and I, at the draft party. They took Parker Matone, a winger, a tall winger at that. He's 6'3". I like this pick a lot. He was the best player available. A lot of people wanted them to go with a center, which they did in about 7 picks after that with a guy named Jack Nesbitt. They traded up. They used their 2 other first-round picks to trade up higher to pick 12, I believe. And this guy is 6'5". He's a center. The only thing I don't like is they said that it's going to take him a little bit more to develop. So these guys aren't like immediate impact players, but the NHL is different. It's rare that you get a guy that comes in and plays immediately. Almost sort of like the baseball draft. You don't have guys that come in immediately. So I think it's a really good draft. I think that Daniel Briere knows what he's doing. He's in control. He's aggressive, which, I mean, if we see what the Eagles do, I know it's not the same, but the Eagles are aggressive, and it works out. So I like the aggressiveness here from Daniel Briere. Made the trade for Zegras last week. I think the Flyers are trending in the right direction. Are they a playoff team this year? I don't know, but they're getting there. We're getting closer. They're starting to get these pieces here, and we'll see what happens here. Love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys. Cass Chris. Peace and out. Rest in peace, Roxy. Go Birds.
Thank you, man, for the kind words. I really appreciate you and your condolences. But, Ryan, I'll go ahead into it first. So, the Flyers, I got to give some props because when we looked at them 2 years ago, they were an older, really 3 or 4 years ago, too, when Giroux still used to be here in that era. That might be 5 years ago with how time's flying. But my point is, the Flyers have really revamped themselves and tried to take a new identity of a powerful, younger team. If you look at the Flyers roster right now, it is riddled with guys born in, I would say, 98 to 2006, 2007, which is great. I mean, you got Matt Mishkov, Jet Luchenko. They just traded for Zegras, Bobby Brink, Porter Matone, Jack Nesbitt. They just drafted Drysdale, who they can utilize on the power play unit. But then they also have kind of a good blend of veterans, I would say, with Coots, Sanheim, Konechny, and Tippett. Like, Tippett's a really good piece, too. So I think that, I know Chris was saying maybe playoffs this year. I'll go out on a hot take. And I think with this team, They are going to come out and play with a fire next year and a fury, a Philadelphia fury and fire. I think that they're going to make the playoffs, man. I think we could see for the first time in a long time playoff hockey and not the Wells Fargo Center, whatever the hell that place is called now.
I do like. I just off your point, I do believe that they've revamped themselves. They have a new identity, and because they're young, they're fast, they're quick, they're athletic, and they're tough. And when I watch the new era of orange and black is what they like to see. I think they're trying to bring back the Broad Street Bully type, and that's what you want to see in hockey. And when you have this younger team, and now they may make the postseason. They should have made the postseason 2 years ago, but they lost the final 9 games of the season. But they could go on a run if they used it. Now it comes down to Rick Tocchet. Is Rick Tocchet much better? Can he connect with the guys better than oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Oh my God. What was the Flyers' old head coach's name? The guy that just
Angry at Torts.
Tortorella. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. If he could connect with the team better than Torts, that'd be nice. But just now, I'm going to go in here with the draft picks. I do like the one draft pick of Porter Matrone. Okay. He's 6'3". He has a high IQ and he's quick. He can create shots. He's good, and I like that. Now, there's not much to see off of him, but I'm not a fan of what they took. They traded up to the 12th pick for Jack Nesbitt. I don't like this at all. And because here's the thing, he's 6'5", so he's big, but there's more negatives than positives when it comes to him. And this is not just from Philly sports guys or writers on The Athletic or Philly Inquirer, nothing like that. This comes from the real professionals, the real guys that know what they're talking about. He has bad skating. He has limited quickness. He has limited offensive awareness, so he has a hard time creating shots. He has a hard time skating backwards, and that's not what you want, okay? So I feel like when it comes to this Flyers team and what they've chosen, what they've picked, I do like the Porter Matrone pick. That's a good pick. But I feel like in this draft, and I'm not the first person to say this, but I feel as if they went more with size, tallness, and size more than talent. Because Porter Matrone, great. He's an A to A plus. I'd say he's like an A draft pick. But Nesbitt, he's like a C plus, B minus. I don't like this. So it feels like they went more with the with size more than talent. And I mean, it may work out in their favor, but we don't know.
Yeah, I hear what you mean. I think that they're at least what they're doing is better than what they were doing. So I will give them credit on that. Like, I think we're all in agreement of, hey, they're in a new era. Like you said, the new era of orange and black. Yeah. So if they can get this together and try to just keep evolving, I think that they might make the playoffs. How do you feel? You think that they're going to make the playoffs 1 year, 2 year?
I say like this year they could squeak in. When it comes to the Flyers, like everybody consistently says, oh, they're another 3 years out. Every year it's another 3 years out. I don't want another 3 years out. That's not what I want. I want a playoff team this year or next year. So could they go on a run this year? Sure. Maybe things click. Maybe Tocchet knows exactly what he's doing. We don't even know if he knows what he's doing, but maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he can connect. Maybe the young guys step up. That'd be nice, right? But I do believe this year they're going to be close. They may be on the edge, right? But I think next year is when you see, what is it, the Xfinity Mobile Arena now? You see the Xfinity Mobile Arena packed with orange. And it'll be rocking because that's how the stadium is. When the place is packed, the place rocks. But they could squeak in this year. It'd be very nice. But I do believe next year, not this year coming up, the next year after that is the year for the Flyers to make the postseason. And not only make the postseason, but go on a run.
Yeah. I think that, like you said, they could squeak in next year, but the following year is when we could really see them make a dangerous run. Once Tocchet kind of gets like a couple, wins and losses under his belt and feels really what it's like to be a Philadelphia head coach, because it's not an easy job. I think we will be in a way better spot. But moving along now to our next topic, I'll let you take this one first. VJ Edgecombe, man, are you excited?
Oh, I love this pick. And now the reason why I like the VJ Edgecombe pick, because I heard everybody out there on the internet say, oh, the Sixers still need to take Ace Bailey. Screw what he said about the Sixers organization. Screw his agent. Take the best guy. Take the ceiling. Here's why that was a false take. That's because why would you want to take a guy that doesn't want to come to you? He would rather go to the Washington Wizards than come play for the Sixers, who are much, no matter how bad we were last year, are a much better team than the Washington Wizards. So, you take I was not a fan of taking him after what he said, after his agent didn't want to work out for the Sixers. But just to go on to VJ Edgecombe is fast. He crashes the boards offensively, puts up a shot, he's attacking the boards. You don't see that with Embiid. You don't see that with Paul George. Defensively, he's attacking the boards as well. And he's quick, he has good agility, and defensively, he's great. And that works because nobody on this team knows how to play defense. But Paul George is too slow. He can't play defense. And Nick Nurse is he claims to be a defensive-minded coach. So you bring a guy that can play defense, that's great. And here's what's nice about this. He shot 34% from three and 46.7% on catch and shoot shots. You know how good that is? So you'll bring that in to the Sixers team, a team that misses a lot of shots, can't create shots, can't hit catch and shoot shots, can't play defensively. That's great. Now, just my final point. All these people out there complained, hey, Sixers don't need another guard. Why don't we need another guard? Is Maxey fine? Do we know if McCain's going to be ready to play? Do we know if McCain is going to be the same Jared McCain he was last year before he got injured? And then what about it? Let's say McCain and Maxey are your two starting guards. We don't have we don't have a second string guard, or at least a good guard. You bring him in and he comes on the bench, comes off the bench. That's great. He's great. He could, and then here's the thing. Not only can he play off the bench, but then McCain needs a night off. Maxey needs a night off. He steps in, and he's great. So for the people that are out there, the Sixers don't need another guard. Why not? Add depth. Would you rather him or Kyle Lowry? Who would you rather have? Or Jeff Doughton? Who would you rather have? I'm taking VJ Edgecombe. Whether he wins a spot out over McCain or he's coming off the bench, I think he's going to do big numbers and difference maker for the Sixers team.
I'm excited, man. I really am. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted there. But I am really excited because this team, when he first was about to get drafted, I know Paul George was making the Jimmy Butler comparisons, and KJ had a really comparison, I think, to Victor Oladipo, who I think is fair to say is, okay, that's a pretty good role player. Could be a good starter at best. Maybe an all-star. He was an all-star, I think, for 1 year, maybe 2 or 3. But I think that VJ Edgecombe, now that I watch him, is the Jimmy Butler comparison. I see what Paul George means because it's that work ethic. It's that growing up and not having it. Like he said, he had to live off a generator for 7 years. He did not have electricity. So this dude wants to ball out more than anyone. There was that video that went around on social media where the one dude's making a joke on WIP or it was something. And he goes, I'll tell you what the problem with this team is. It's all white guys. It's Bryson's. You remember that video?
Yeah.
And I think with this guy, what he was trying to say is, hey, all these guys, seriously, they got in their minivan, they went to baseball practice, and it's not that everything was handed to them. It's just like they had a very different lifestyle than some of these other athletes did. And you look at championship winners, and it's a lot of times that some nights they did not have a meal. Their parents had to hustle to make it. So they know what real hard work is. And I think that some athletes know it, some athletes don't. VJ Edgecombe definitely understands that. And also the second part about it, he appreciates it. That's what I really like. When you hear him talk, when you hear the way he carries himself, when you hear the way that he approaches the game of basketball and, a team sport, he's very much, I think, an all-in team player that's very talented. Like Ryan said, both sides of the ball. He can play defense, but he can score offensively, and he knows how to attack the rim. So I think that this was probably the best pick that the Sixers could have made, because I'll ask you this question too, Ryan. Were you any sorts of way? I mean, I think I know the answer to this. I didn't want him because he didn't want to be here. Any sorts of way upset about the way that Ace Bailey went, or no?
Will you say that like the whole situation, or that we didn't draft him?
Both, we'll say. Starting with the situation, the way it went, and then the fact that we didn't draft him after, because I think it made sense, and I feel like you'll agree.
Yeah.
But starting with the situation,
absolutely. So when I was at work, so in my job, my winter job, I'm a pizza delivery guy. So in the pizza shop, there's a TV, and I put the lottery draft on. And when the Sixers got the 3rd overall pick, I said, here we go, Ace Bailey, you are a Sixer. And throughout the next several months, Ace Bailey, you are a Sixer. Everybody said it. No ifs, ands, or buts. They know Flag was going 1, Dylan Harper 2, Ace Bailey 3. That was as simple as it could be. Sixers are going to get much better. They're going to add depth. They're going to add a shooter. They're going to add everybody. Anything and everything. They're going to have it, right? And then as time went on, him, his agent, didn't want to come practice. They didn't want to come work out. They were angry that the Sixers God. They were angry that the Sixers may draft them. He said he would rather go to the Washington Wizards. I mean, who in their right mind would rather go to the Washington Wizards? The Wizards haven't been good since John Wall was on the team. And John Wall was 100 years ago, and that team wasn't even good. So it's like, that was disturbing. That was disturbing to me.
Disturbing is a great word. I like that.
That was disturbing to me, because you could say, well, I'd rather go. I'd rather go to like the Jet. He went to the Jet, whatever. It doesn't matter. But when he said that, when him, his agent, we don't want to go to the Sixers. We don't want to work out for the Sixers. At least work out. At least make it seem like you're willing to go to whoever draft you, right? They didn't do that. And that disturbs me. So right then and there, I said, we can't take him. We cannot take a guy that doesn't want to be on our team. We can't take a guy that may be a cancer to the locker room because he doesn't want to be here. We can't do that. That'll be a disaster. Then as soon as this situation, happens, here comes VJ Edgecombe, like out of the shadows. Out of the shadows, here he comes, and he was a clear pick. When I sat down, not only did I read stats, because stats go a long way, right? But you actually have to watch his play. Watching him play on film, he's a legit player. And I'm glad. And I think now, to go on to the draft, I had a lot of my friends, in the group chat saying, hey, Sixers still need to take Ace Bailey. He has a higher ceiling. Just take him. Work with the situation. My answer was no, he doesn't want to come here. Here's a guy from the Bahamas, much better attitude, team player, can shoot, great defensively, fast, gritty, and he earns it. He earned wherever he is. He earned that 4 years, $50 million contract. I think that's what they said it was. He earned every little bit of it. Ace Bailey did too, but I'm not going to sit here and waste my 3rd overall pick for a guy that does not want to be here.
That makes sense.
That's my thing, right? Like, you don't want to be here. We're not going to take you because you come in with that bad attitude. You don't want to practice, right? I don't want to be here, so I ain't going to practice. I'm not going to be a good teammate, Like, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want guys that are ready to play right now. They're happy to. If I was a guy and I got drafted, to the Wizards, I'm happy that I even made it to the league. Ace Bailey is ungrateful, and I'm glad we took VJ Edgecombe.
I 100% agree with that. I think you hit the nail on the head. You want someone that, like, back to that appreciation point, right? The quote with his mom. And it's actually funny because I thought, listening to WIP building up to it, shout out to Joe Giulio, I'm listening to him, and he's like, Daryl Morey doesn't want you to know what he's doing. And I'm like, that's a very good point. So
Yeah.
I actually thought that they had Ace Bailey in the back of their pocket. And then when they said VJ Edgecombe, I went, exhale, because we're so used to, you see the meme and whatever way you go politically, the meme was hilarious of Trump. And he's like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Shout out to
Yeah.
Cross and Broad. They share the meme and it's like Sixers draft. And that's exactly how it felt, right? We're sitting there and it's just like, oh my God, here we go again. Like you have Ben Simmons, you have Markelle Fultz, you have, don't even get me started on Jahlil Okafor and Nerlens Noel. Like,
God.
taking us back real much. So they
Jesus.
finally, I feel like, nailed the pick. They made a smart move, and it's not the flashiest pick, I think, but it's the smartest pick. And that's a rare thing that you will see from the Sixers organization. So hats off to them. But moving along now to some Phillies baseball. And Ryan, you were the one that suggested this topic. So I'll let you go ahead and tear into him first, man. Tell everybody what this new guy, Max Kepler, said, and what are your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, this guy's a disaster. This guy's a joke. So this morning I text Dalton and I asked him what the topics are for today. And I just thought, quite literally, there was a big glaring hole. And the big glaring hole was the Max Kepler situation. So if you did not hear, so Matt Gelb of The Athletic puts this out, and I'm going to read a quote I have a screenshot. I'm going to read it word for word. Kepler gave his voice of frustration on Thursday, Matt Gelb wrote in The Athletic. He says, the biggest challenge for me is not playing routinely, Kepler said after Thursday's loss, after the Phillies got swept in Houston. That's the biggest challenge. Kepler was under the impression that he would, quote, I was told I was going to be the starting left fielder. Then on Friday, before the Phillies eventually had a blowout win over the Braves, Kepler revisited his concerns and says, I was signed here to be the starting everyday center left fielder. That's why I signed here. Yo, pal. Yo, I don't care why you were signed here. And I have notes here. You batted 180. You're batting 185 in June. You went 0 for 4 last night. And you batted 188 in the month of May. 188. You are a disaster. And you know what? If you want to go back, because I made a Broad Street Sports video on my YouTube the night the Phillies signed Max Kepler, I said they don't need another bat. And every single day that this goes on with Max Kepler, he shows the Phillies organization and the fan base why they made the wrong decision to bring in another lefty bat. He stinks. He's not very good in the outfield. I was told, well, he brings some speed. He brings some defensive. He's a veteran. He doesn't do any of it. He can't be a good runner if he doesn't freaking get on base. He stinks. So you know what? If you want to go online, you want to go and chirp about your team, which I thought he did was a disaster. I mean, you really want to chirp the team that signed you, give you another chance on your career, another chance, because you were nobody. Minnesota wasn't going to bring you back. I bet the Mets wouldn't even take it. And the Mets take everybody at this point. So, we took another chance on you, pal. Another chance. So you want to chirp this team. And now here's my thing when it comes to it. You chirp the team. You're angry. Okay, voice your frustration. Fine. But the fact that you were when you voice your frustration, now you're supposed to back that up and show the team, show the fan base, show the Philly sports media why you deserve that left fielder spot. He did it. He went 0 for 4 last night. Just stunk it up the night before. So he's and as I stated, he is batting, and you may not believe me. He's batting 185 in the month of June so far. And he batted 188 in the month of May. I think Johan Rojas has better statistics than that. I mean, you know how bad Johan Rojas, he's bad, man. So I'm done with Max Kepler. And just to finish up my point thought, because I'm getting angry, I'm starting to sweat down here. God. I am. You can see the sweat. I'm starting to sweat. Here's my thing.
I love this shit, dude.
I'll tell you this. Max Kepler, he shouldn't, along with Mono, which we'll get to, he's the first person DFA, just eat the friggin' money, get him off this team. Eat the money, or As soon as he said that, yo, Dave, get off your couch, get off your bed, pick up the phone. Hey, I can't take this guy anymore. Give me a prospect. Hey, I can't take this guy anymore. Give me something. Just give me something. Take him. Please take him. But that's why Dave Dombrowski stinks. And I won't get into Dave Dombrowski. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm done with Kepler. I've been done with Kepler for a long time. And if you know me, you know I'm done with Kepler. And I've been done with Kepler. But after he said that, after his 0 for 4 last night, after batting 185 in June, after batting 188 in May, you're done. You're DFA'd. You're going back to Japan, to Mexico. Go someplace else. Ride off into the sunset. I don't care where you go or what you do. Go retire, dude. Go be like Whit Merrifield. Go retire, dude. Just go right off into the sunset. I'm done with him. He stinks. His attitude stinks. He I get it. You want to be the starting left fielder. I get that. Everybody wants to start and roll. I understand that. Like, I emphasize with that. But you can't expect to be the starting left fielder when you can't hit the baseball. When you can't put the ball over the fence, don't talk to me. When you can't put the ball over the second baseman's head for at least a bloop single, do not talk to me. When you can't strike out on 3 pitches, because that's what he does, 1, 2, 3, you're out. I mean, don't talk to me. DFA him. Let him go. Just cut him. Go. Cut your losses. He stinks. And that, and just to wrap this up, sorry.
You're good. Don't worry.
That energy, right? Him saying that, him being angry, him, I want to be the starting left hand. That is bad chemistry in the clubhouse. You chirping your team, A, your organization, A, and then showing that you're angry that you're not playing, that's bad chemistry for the baseball team. That's bad chemistry. And that shows he doesn't trust the manager. He doesn't like Rob Thompson. So is he not happy that my main man, Otto Kemp, is getting more playing time than him? I don't know. This situation doesn't make sense. But if I'm Dombrowski, I'm on the phone. Give me a prospect. Yo, give me somebody. I'll give you a package deal. And that's where we are. I'm done with him. I've been done. But this just puts it's boiling water. Now the boiling water has tipped over.
Dude, I totally get it, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I'll say this, too. I don't fucking care how many ladies love this guy.
Yeah.
Ryan hit the nail on the head. 0.185 through June, like you said, and 0.188 through May. The other thing I'm looking at is the hits right here, right? Hits are very productive in baseball. Hits kind of, I think are a very good stat to measure where you at in the season. Also comparing with the rest of the team. So looking at the Phillies, hit leaders, you got Trey Turner with 100. He's obviously been a very much a leader this year. Casty with 87. We all know how consistent he's been this year. Bomer with 87 as well. Schwarber with 75. Stott. Okay, this is where the gap kind of, really starts to separate. Schwarber was 75. Stott was 67. Okay.
Don't get me started on
we know JT's been struggling. JT was 62. And here's the real drop-off, right? Like Ryan said, 51 for Max Kepler. Bryce Harper has 55 hits, and he hasn't played since the beginning of June in a month. He's taking a lot of time off, and he's got more hits than you. That's embarrassing, man. I don't care that he's, one of the best players in baseball. You need to get it together and be more consistent at the plate. You need to figure out what is your approach, because I totally get why Philly Rob wants to put Otto Kemp in over him. Number one, you're looking at a 246 batting average versus a 209. So stats don't lie, right? Even though Otto Kemp is less sample size, I get that. But my point is, Otto Kemp's the hotter hand, but attitude. Attitude is so important. For Christ's sake, we just saw Philly Rob literally take Castellanos out for a game because of a bad attitude. Yeah. So you think that it's a good idea now to go rub not only your coach the wrong way, right? Because it wasn't one of those things where I'll give Casty that. Casty's a very good teammate, and I don't think Casty ever really rubs the team the wrong way. However, you rub the coach and the team the wrong way with that comment. Yeah. Because not only does the coach know that what you're saying is wrong, ball don't lie, brother. the team understands that Otto Kemp is better. They probably want him out there a little bit more than you want him out there. So I think that just because you're frustrated, you got to control your comments.
Now, let me just to back off what you said here, or the piggyback, right?
Mhm.
So he has 244 plate appearances this year, 51 hits. Now, his strikeout, 58 strikeouts. He has more strikeouts this year than hits. 7 more strikeouts than hits. And not only that, now let me just read you this guy's stat line over the past couple games. I'll start with the Mets series. June 20th, first the Mets, 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts. June 21st, first the New York Mets, 0 for 4, 1 RBI. Okay. Then he played the final game in Houston on was it Thursday? 0 for 3. Okay, nice. Then here we go. Game 1 of the Atlanta series. Game 1 of the Atlanta series where they blew him out, 13-0. He goes 2 for 5. Okay. Then last night, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. How at this point, how can you defend him? Like, even if you like Max Kepler, how can you defend him? Stats don't lie, bro. Bull don't lie. Stats don't lie, man. And it's frustrating to me because there's somebody out there, Justin Crawford. There's people out there that can play, that can hit, that can be good defensively, good on base, steal bases, and we're wasting it on Max Kepler. Now I'm just real quick because the Phillies lineup, they have obviously the 135 game, and I don't know if Thought was going to get to this, but I'm just going to read the lineup to you guys because
You're good.
Kepler's in the lineup. Okay. Trey Turner leading off shortstop. Schwarber batting second, DHing. Boom, 3 spot and third base. Castellanos cleanup right field. Kepler left field batting 5th. Realmuto catching batting 6th. Stott, Kemp, and then Marsh. And you have Suarez on the mound. Hey, I'll tell you this right now. This is his last chance. And I mean this, right? I'm already out on him. But I think this is his real last chance to prove that he can play baseball. And if not, I think Dave really does pick up the phone. I think he's gone. I think this team is missing a spark of energy. And if they see that he's gone, it may spark something, But it's not even about sparking anything. It's about bringing a better guy in. It's about bringing somebody in that could be at least a little bit better. I mean, having more strikeouts than hits is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I've had my beef with Alec Boehm, not to get on to him. I've had my beef with Alec Boehm. But Boehm has picked it up. He's been much better. Trey Turner, you know how much I've trashed Trey Turner over my lifetime. Trey Turner has been arguably the team's MVP. Castellanos, he's doing so. My thing is you're right there, man. You're on the cusp of heading to Mexico or Japan. You're on your way out, champ. You're on your way out, and I think this last game you go 0 for it. You go 1 for 4, 1 for 5, whatever, 1 for 3. You're out. And I just can't see a world where the Phillies leave him in anymore. And, we can sit here and say, hey, well, we could just not play him and keep him, platoon him. That's not going to work because he's only going to get more and more angry. He's going to request a trade. You don't want to make this situation messy. He wants to be a starting center fielder. Okay. But he's not going to be the start. He's not going to be the starting left fielder here. So I don't want to see this play out where the situation gets worse. I just want them to move on from him now. Just get it over with, right into the sunset.
Well, speaking of, and as you said on a more positive note, I think he ought to earn a spot. Don't you?
Oh yeah, I love Otto Kemp. For months, I've been saying the Phillies need to call him up. He's been very good. Now he's batting. I have it here. He's batting 246, 9 RBIs, and he just hit his first major league home run Friday night. I really like Otto Kemp. Now when I think about Otto Kemp, he's good defensively, and he has a good mindset, and he puts bat on the ball. Maybe he doesn't have a bunch of homers, doesn't have a bunch of RBIs. But he gets on base. He puts good guys. Not only does he do all that, but he works counts. He takes good pitches. So I like what I see out of Otto Kemp. I don't know what they're going to do with him once Harper comes back. Like all this is stuff. But what I would rather see, and I'm honest about this, I would rather see him at third base and then Bohm at first instead of Bohm at third and Kemp at first. And I'm not really a fan of Otto Kemp in left field, but until this Kepler situation is over with, I guess you can do it. I don't really like that in center field. I'd rather him be at third base and just let Bohm, play at first. But I think he's earned the spot. And I think whenever Harper comes back and whatever the situation is, I think he has earned a spot to stay up in the major leagues. He's done a good job. He's good defensively. He's pretty quick, good baseball IQ. Looks like he's a great teammate. Looks like guys love him. I really do like this. He's earned the spot. I think he can stay up whenever the situation clears up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that Otto Kemp is just such a sharp young mind for the Phillies, and he really has a good plate approach, like Ryan said. I mean, when he gets up there, it's not rushed. And that's kind of what we're used to seeing with this team, right? We're used to seeing guys go up there, first swing, big swing, out. Boom. You know what I mean? Pop fly, whatever. And I feel like with Otto Kemp, he has more of a patience at the plate, and that's really benefited him. That's kind of been why I think we've seen the success from him, because we're in a point of the season, June, July, and May, right? Where it's the middle point of the season. You're kind of in the thick of baseball. And I think a lot of MLB players just kind of want to move on from that as quick as they can and get to when baseball really matters, come August, come September, come, of course, October. But Otto Kemp is kind of taking advantage of that, where I think some of the players are just kind of going through the motions, if that makes sense. Like they're doing what's routine, what's for them. And he's studied that. And when he gets up at the plate, it's not like that first swing where he just goes based off of instinct. He's like, hold on, I've studied this. Let me slow down. And you've seen success. Like he's hitting a quarter time. He's hitting .246. Well, almost, but right outside of it. I mean, basically 1 out of every 4 times he's getting a hit. And that's in the MLB. That's in the big leagues. That's in the most tough, I think, most competitive baseball in the world.
Yeah.
So you got to give props and hats off to that. So if
Yeah.
he's already here, I think it's more like exciting for Phillies fans of what's the ceiling for this guy.
Right. Well, you have the people, and I understand it. Well, here's my thing. Otto Kemp, as a young guy that's been called up and now in the major leagues, I think a 246 batting average is pretty good. 9 RBIs. I do really like it. Now, here's what just off you said he was averaging a hit in every 4 at bats. Now, just like I did for Kepler. Here's what I'm going to do for Kemp. June 20th versus the New York Mets, Kemp goes 0 for 4. Okay. Then June 21st versus the Mets, Kemp goes 1 for 3. Then the series finale versus the Mets, he goes 1 for 4. In Houston, he goes 0 for 2. Second game in Houston, 1 for 3. Third game in Houston, 0 for 3. First game in Atlanta, he goes 1 for 4, but he had his first major league home run. And then last night he's 1 for 3. So he's picking up a hit almost once a game. And you know what? That's fine, right? You're not up here. Like he's up here to be a difference maker. But I mean, him getting on base once a game, sack flying it, whatever he's got to do. I like that. I really like what Otto Kemp is doing. And when he gets up at the plate, he's seeing what the pitcher has. He's seeing what pitch the pitcher is going to throw to him. He's seeing what pitch the pitcher is going to try and put him away with. He's studying. When you're up in the batter's box, you have to study. It's a chess match. And I think Otto Kemp is playing good chess right now. And I really like what I see, because he's different from like the Castellanos of the world, that when he strikes out, he's going 1, 2, 3, or first pitch, it's a pop fly, right? Or the Rojas's, where it's over, he's going 0 for 3, right? He's not like the Bryson Stotts of the world, where Bryson Stott is 1, 2, 3, watches the first pitch right down the middle, then swings at 2 pitches outside the zone and falls down on his knees. Like that, this is not what I'm seeing out of Kemp. He's composed. He has good baseball IQ at the plate, very good defensively, looks like a good teammate, good speed. I like him. He's earned the spot to stay up in the major leagues.
Yeah, I think he definitely has earned his keep. Now I'll let you get into this one first. Last night was a catastrophe, man. I think that's probably the word I would use to describe it. And so has been this signing pretty much overall for the Phillies. Would you agree?
Oh, I would 1000% agree, and I was the first person to say that when he first came in and his first appearance of the season. And I was like, this is not good. This is not going to work out. And every day, I miss Jeff Hoffman. Every day, I miss Carlos Estevez. Every day, I miss Hector Neres. Oh, anybody heard that name in a while? Every day, I miss these guys because we have a guy. Now, last night, I don't know if you watched the game. It was 2-1, right? It was 2-1.
Yeah, they were in it.
Yeah, they were in it. And it works a bases loaded jam. Here comes Sean Murphy. And I think he had him in a 2-strike count. And here's what he does. He hangs him an 86-mile-an-hour slider right in the middle of the zone, but like the upper half of the middle of the zone. And Murphy, cranked it. So not only does Romano stink, but he also, when you watch him, he has no baseball, like he has no IQ of when to throw a pitch, where to throw a pitch. It's ridiculous up there. And just to read a statistic to you, he has a 7.28 ERA. 7.28 ERA. And this is bad. And now here's the worst part about the Romano situation, folks. And it's a pretty bad situation because he has and every player and every team, there's peaks and valleys. And this guy has more peaks and valleys than anybody I've ever seen in my life. 1 week, he's closing the guys out, cranking the fastball by him. He's cracking up saves. Then there's a week like this where he's just letting home run after single, after double, after walk. And that's not good. But the worst part about this is when it comes to this Phillies team, Rob Thompson has no other decision than to continue to use Jordan Romano. Outside of Romano, Strom, and Kirkring, and maybe a little bit of Tanner Banks, they have nobody. They are gutted. So until Dave Dombrowski picks up the phone, brings in 2 other bullpen arms, a legitimate closer, a legitimate setup guy, Rob Thompson has his hands tied. His hands are tied, and Romano is going to continue to shit on games because this bullpen is so gutted. And I think the Romano signing, obviously it stunk. It was a bad decision. We should have kept at least Estevez or Hoffman. Fine. But I think this is a direct representation that Dave Dombrowski has left this Phillies team, Phillies bullpen gutted. He's left this Phillies bullpen with nobody. He's left this Phillies bullpen just with no heart and soul, no energy. It's gutted. You have Max Lazar in the bullpen. He stinks. You just got a guy, cash consideration. He's in the bullpen. You just called the guy. You're calling different guys up every single night because your bullpen sucks. And one of your best bullpen arm is an idiot and decided to use Peds and is out for the year, out for 80 games, and out for the postseason. So Dave Dombrowski, as soon as that happened, you should have picked up the phone. But for the people that sit here, Rob Thompson shouldn't have used them. No. Rob Thompson shouldn't use them. Why not? Who else is he going to use? Everybody else has an 8+ here, right? At least Hoffman, at least Romano has a 7.28 ERA. So Thompson has his hands tied. He can only use 3 guys in at least high leverage situations. Strom, Romano, and Kirkring. They all stink, by the way. They all stink. But this is a clear representation of what Dombrowski has left Thompson. This is a clear, direct representation of what he's left, right? You have nobody left. So you have to continue to go to somebody like Romano, who shits on every game he comes into. This is the situation you've been left with. This is a situation you're going to continue to have until Dombrowski makes a move, until Dombrowski picks up the phone, brings Felix Bautista in, or, Aroldis Chapman, I heard, or Pete Fairbanks. This is the situation you're in, and this is the situation we're going to continue to have every night when the Phillies need somebody to shut a team down. They don't have it because Kirkring's been pretty inconsistent. Strom has been pretty mid this year, and Romano, we already know how that is. But Romano stinks, but we can't fully blame it all on. I mean, we can blame it on him because he can be much better. But let's not blame this on Thompson. I see people out there blaming it on Thompson. It's not his fault. This is the situation, the team, the roster he's been left with because Dombrowski doesn't know how to do his job.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think putting any blame on Thompson is very unfair because he's not going out there in winnable games and losing them, right? What about the first half of the game? Is that Thompson's fault too when the pitcher goes out there and play? Like, you got to, pick and choose. So he's doing his job. It's really the pitcher. Like, I'll say this because you pretty much hit the nail on the head with everything I wanted to say except this. I said this yesterday on the Phillies post-game show. When he comes in there, he is so unconfident. And it reminds me so much of Sam Bradford in the huddle when Sam Bradford would come out and he would have that look on his face and you would just be like, oh, like, we are screwed. Like, this is not going to go well. And he would just be like, you know what I mean? Like he had that same look on his, and he looks like Little Dicky, number one. But number two, my main thing is when he gets out there, you can tell by his posture, you can tell by his confidence and his body language that the game is already lost. And for me, that's not a good sign. Like, I know when he's walking out there exactly what's going to happen before it happens. And to me, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame. You know what I mean? But it's baseball. It's a little bit different. I get it. You signed a guy. But I think that there's been enough sample size. We're halfway through the season now, pretty much, for you to say, okay, this guy is not a guy that can be in the rotation come October. Like, there's no space for him. And even though we paid him, we can't be, Proud Mary and have to, hang it on that.
No, and when it comes to Romano, like, he's just like, so now what I've noticed, and I'm not going to be a douchebag to him. I don't want to be a douche, but because I don't know if he has a condition or whatever the case is. But his eye twitches, right? He's like, twitches, and it twitches extra when he's nervous. It twitches extra when he's in situations. So just to go off of what you said, you can tell by his body language, he's scared shitless to go out there. And he, you know what? His and the thing is it's like he doesn't trust his pitches. He knows that the fan base doesn't like him. So, when the fan base doesn't like you, the team probably doesn't like you. That's not good. And here's the thing. Jesus Luzardo was pretty good last night, only gave up the 2 runs. The offense was just like, it happens in baseball, but the offense gave him no run support. That's not on Rob Thompson. But when it comes to Romano, his body language stinks. It looks like he's scared. He doesn't trust his pitches. His eye twitches more when he gets in those situations and he's like scared. It's just like an all around bad situation because you signed a guy who we were told was supposed to be good, was supposed to, fill the void of Hoffman and Estevez. He hasn't. And now you're seeing the direct repercussions. You're seeing the direct, whatever you want to call it, of Dombrowski not doing his job. And obviously Romano isn't out there doing his job, but Dombrowski has to put the team in a better situation, and he hasn't. He's not, and that's not good. But he like you said, just to wrap what I was saying up, he can't. Like, here's the thing: he cannot pitch in the postseason. If the Phillies came out and in a Game 7 of the NLCS, you're up 3-2, 9th inning at the bank, and you're facing, I don't know, let's say the Dodgers, right? Let's say the Dodgers. I don't know who in the bullpen I would actually put in that situation. I have not a clue who we would put in because I don't trust any of them. I don't trust Kirkring. I don't trust Strom. I don't trust Romano. I don't trust Tanner Banks. I don't trust Max Lazar. I don't trust any of them. But I think Romano's gone. I think Kepler's gone. I do think you're going to see like a little bit of a revamped team, maybe not fully. But here's my thing, and this one last thing. When we signed Jordan Romano, people were upset. People were nervous because he's had a career of like bad elbow issues. Bad elbow issues. Are we seeing are we seeing a Romano injury that's not being addressed? Are we seeing a Romano injury where he's not telling somebody? Because it's hard to be consistently that bad. It's consistently hard to be that bad. And the only time you could be that bad is when you're injured or you just flat out suck. And I don't think Romano flat out sucks because he's shown flashes of being really, really good. Obviously, he stinks this year and has been bad for the Phillies, but I don't think he sucks, right? Like, I don't think he sucks. But there may be an underlying arm issue somewhere, right? And I think, and I may be false. I probably am false. Maybe he just sucks now. Maybe he just hit his midlife crisis and he sucks. But I think there may be an injury somewhere because remember when we signed him, everybody was like, "Hey, this guy's got an arm injury, got an arm problem, shoulder problem, whatever it was." This is, it's a bad situation. I put obviously the pitcher has to do a better job, but I put a lot of the blame on Dave Dombrowski. He gutted this bullpen. He allowed this to happen. He didn't put the best roster together. Whatever.
I love how everybody's calling him Dave Dombrowski too.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Where's Dave Dombrowski? That was you can't even say general manager. He likes to have the fancy title, president of baseball operations. Are you a loser? I mean, really? I mean, how can you be president of baseball operations when you don't do anything? You don't know anything about baseball, man. You don't do anything. Like, and I'm not the first person to say it. Where's the Dave Dombrowski that was the president of baseball operations or general manager of the Boston Red Sox that won a World Series and he built from the ground up? Where is the Dave Dombrowski that has built baseball teams, championship winning baseball teams? And now here's my thing. He's built this team. Now I'll give him some credit. He has built the Schwarber, the Castellanos, the Luzardos. He's built the majority, the core of the baseball team essentially. But he doesn't know how to sign. Not everybody's a superstar. Right? Not everybody's a superstar, but people can be good role guys. He doesn't know how to judge and manage bringing in good role guys that can be difference makers. He only knows how to bring stars in. He has not a friggin' clue how to go out there and bring in guys that can not be stars, but can be very good and difference makers, especially in the bullpen. He has not a clue, and it's sad.
It is sad. It's really sad. Hopefully the Philadelphia Phillies will get it together. We will see starting today at 1 o'clock.
1:35.
Yeah, 1:35. Get ready. We'll find out. But a lot of things going on. I appreciate all you guys who tuned in. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All those little things really help us out a ton. And please be sure to give my guy a follow, Ryan, at Broad Street Sports _. Is that where it's at on everything?
Yeah. So for everybody that's listening, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever you're on, my name's Ryan, Broad Street Sports. I do live streams. I do regular videos. I post reactions after Phillies games. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. I'm on everything. On everything, it's Broad Street Sports. I have my green logo, just like you can see right here. This green logo right here. But yeah, this was a blast. Good to let out some frustration and also some positive stuffs like VJ Edgecombe. But yeah, man, thanks for having me. It's been a blast. It's always a blast with you.
Thanks for being here, man. I feel the same to you. Hope you have a good 4th of July. If I don't talk to you again, hopefully I do in between because, like you said, it's always a blast. But if not, we'll definitely see you soon.
Yeah,
That's all we got for you guys. Like I said, please be sure to give Ryan a follow. Also, please be sure to give us a follow or subscribe if you haven't. Hope everybody has a great holiday, a safe holiday, and take care.